All right, let's dive in. We have some pretty heavy news to start with today.
Yeah, it's quite somber.
Former LSU wide receiver Kyren Lacy, he tragically passed away in Houston. He was only 24.
Just 24. Yeah, an LSU official confirmed it this past Sunday.
And right now, we actually don't know the cause of death. It hasn't been released.
No, it hasn't. It's just, well, heartbreaking news. LSU put out a statement, expressing sadness about losing a former student athlete. Our thoughts are definitely with his family.
Absolutely. And the thing is, this news comes just a few months after a really serious incident back in December 17th.
Right, the car crash.
Exactly. The fatal crash in LaFourche Parish, Louisiana. Kyren Lacy was accused of causing it.
And that crash, tragically, took the life of 78-year-old Herman Hall.
Yeah. So there were some significant charges he was facing from that.
That's right. Records from the sheriff's office show charges of negligent homicide.
Which means basically causing death through carelessness, essentially.
Essentially, yes. A lack of reasonable care. Then there was felony hit and run with death.
Okay, and that's serious. That means allegedly leaving the scene.
Leaving the scene of an accident where someone died? Yes. A very serious felony. And also reckless operation of a vehicle.
Wow. And the hit and run part. The police account said he fled the scene, didn't help, didn't call anyone.
That was the allegation, yes. That he left without providing aid or contacting authorities. It's a difficult detail to hear.
Definitely. So the crash was December 17th. When did he actually face the authorities on this?
Well, he turned himself in on January 12th, so a few weeks later.
Okay.
And the police records show he was released after that on $151,000 bail.
And this whole legal process was like actively moving forward, wasn't it?
Very much so. In fact, a grand jury was actually scheduled to start hearing evidence in the case this past Monday.
So just days ago, his passing and this legal case they're directly connected in timing.
Incredibly intertwined, yeah. And we should mention, Lacy's attorney, Matthew Orey, released a statement about his client's death.
Right. What did he say?
He expressed profound sorrow, naturally, and asked for privacy for the family, which is understandable.
Of course.
But he also mentioned the crash investigation. Orey stated he was confident that a full review of the evidence would have led to the charges being declined.
Really? So he felt the evidence wouldn't support the charges?
That's what he indicated, yes.
Yeah.
And he said he planned to demand a, quote, transparent review of the whole investigation.
It suggests, a real disagreement with the official narrative.
Definitely a different perspective there.
Yeah.
So what was the official narrative? What did the Louisiana State Police say happened on December 17th?
Well, their account describes Lacy allegedly driving a 2023 Dodge Charger, recklessly, they said, on Louisiana Highway 20.
Recklessly how?
Speeding?
High speed, yes. And allegedly passing multiple cars in a no-passing zone.
Okay.
By crossing the center line into oncoming traffic. That's the key allegation there.
And that maneuver that allegedly caused the crash.
It allegedly set off a chain reaction. The police report states a northbound pickup truck had to brake hard and swerve right to avoid hitting Lacy's Charger head-on.
Wow. Okay. So a near miss for that truck.
A very near miss, it sounds like. But right behind that pickup was a 2017 Kia Cadenza.
Okay.
And the driver of that Kia, trying to avoid Lacy's car, which was now in their lane, swerved left.
Oh, no. So swerved left across the center line the other way.
Exactly. According to the police, that Kia Cadenza crossed the center line and crashed head-on into a southbound vehicle, a 2017 Kia Sorento.
And that's the vehicle Herman Hall was in.
That's correct. Mr. Hall was the passenger in that southbound Sorento, and the state police confirmed he died from the injuries sustained in that head-on collision.
Just devastating. And the police allege that after all that, Lacy just left.
Their report alleges he drove around the crash scene and fled. No stopping, no aid, no call to 911, didn't report his involvement. It's a stark picture they paint.
It really is.
Yeah.
But these were still allegations, right? The legal process hadn't concluded.
Correct. It was an ongoing investigation, and he hadn't been convicted of anything related to the crash. It's important to remember that.
And didn't his agent say something around that time?
Yes. His agent, Rocky Arsenault, put out a statement back in December. He said Lacy was fully cooperating with the authorities.
Which sounds a bit different from the police description of fleeing the scene.
It does create a bit of a contrast, doesn't it? It kind of highlights how we might not have the full picture of exactly what transpired. Shows why the investigation was so crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. And amidst all this legal trouble, he was also trying to pursue his football career.
Right? He was a talented wide receiver at LSU. He actually declared for the NFL draft on December 19th.
Wait, December 19th? That was just 2 days after the crash.
2 days after, yeah. And because of that, or perhaps related circumstances, he didn't play in LSU's bowl game, the Texas Bowl.
But he still wanted to go pro. He participated in LSU's pro day in March.
He did, showing teams he was still pursuing that NFL dream. And, people were noticing his talent.
Yeah, I remember seeing his name mentioned. Mel Kiper had him ranked pretty high at one point, didn't he?
Back in December, yeah. Kiper had him as the number 6 receiver prospect for the draft. That's significant buzz.
But that changed.
It seemed so. In Kiper's most recent big board, published just last month, Lacy wasn't in the top 10 receivers anymore.
Do we know why? Was it the legal situation?
We can't say definitively, but it's hard to imagine that the serious charges in the ongoing investigation weren't a major factor for NFL teams evaluating him.
Yeah.
It just adds so much uncertainty.
Yeah, for sure. It really shows how off-field issues can impact things, even with talent. What was his college career like before LSU?
He started at the University of Louisiana, then transferred to LSU for 3 seasons.
And his last season was his best, right?
Definitely. Last year, he had, 58 catches, 866 yards, and he led the team with 9 touchdowns. Pretty impressive numbers. Clearly a gifted player.
Yeah, no doubt about the talent. And now, this. He passes away at 24 with these incredibly serious legal issues still unresolved.
Exactly. The grand jury was literally about to convene. It's just layers of tragedy here.
So, just to recap for everyone listening, we have the terribly sad news of Kyren Lacy's death at only 24 years old. And this happens while the legal process surrounding that fatal car crash from December, which he was accused of causing, was still very much active.
It's a really complex and deeply sad situation. You have the investigation into the crash, the pending charges, and now his sudden death, with the cause still unknown.
It just leaves so many unanswered questions, doesn't it? What really happened on that highway in December? What would the outcome of the legal case have been? And now, why did he die so young?
So many unknowns. And the whole thing, it really just makes you think about, the fragility of life,
Yeah.
And how one moment, one alleged action can lead to such devastating and far-reaching consequences.
It really forces you to consider all the different perspectives, the terrible loss for Herman Hall's family.
Absolutely, their loss is paramount.
The complexities of the legal system trying to determine fault, and now the tragedy of Lacy's own death.
It's a stark reminder, I think. A reminder about due process, yes, but also about the profound human cost involved in events like these. There are just no easy answers here.
No, definitely not. A lot to process, and unfortunately, likely more questions than answers for the time being.